Marjorie Greene, she is the mayor of Crazyville.
Okay, let's make Michael Steele answer for her and his entire awful, awful party. Hi, good morning, former RNC Chairman Michael Steele.
Hey, what's up, playa?
All right, let's explain why you're on today, because my big sister Mary wrote to me and said, can I have Michael Steele's email? And so I wrote to you and I said, this is my big sister Mary, who is obviously a fan of yours, but not as creepy as I am about you. And she wrote and said, no, I'm as creepy as my little sister about you. And she's a huge fan.
Oh, yes. No, it was very nice to connect with Mary, and it's always so good to be with you. How you been? You're looking good.
You too. All right, let's see. Creepy already. That's all right. But you bring up my sister Mary and both of our daddy issues because, as you know, our dad was chairman of the RNC,
yes, which I still he must be sitting there going, "What the hell happened? Yes. I don't understand."
What happened? I almost wore my Goldwater Miller T-shirt for you, but so wait. First of all, you are still a member of the Republican Party.
I am, and there are philosophical and political reasons. The philosophical reason is that I still am grounded to the Lincoln principles that drew me into the party as a young man, the things that probably drew your dad into the party as a young man, and what made him, like myself, be committed to promoting the ideas of free markets and individual liberties and et cetera, right? So those things still have value. Even in this marketplace, they still have value. The problem is that no one's articulating those values. The party writ large has basically crapped all over those values and have decided to poop out Trump at every turn.
Right.
And so the reality philosophically is there is no mooring any longer. So I'm the fool who's sitting there going, okay, I'm just going to take this, I'm going to plant it in the ground, I'm going to put a rope around it and tie it to the party and try to hold it to these things by reminding the party of why we were once, considered a party that people wanted to be a part of, and our ideas mattered.
So, Michael,
the political piece is...
I went to Catholic school. I'm not a Catholic anymore, Michael. My point is...
Stop it.
How does this party represent anything that you just said or are talking about?
Well, that's the point. No, and that's exactly the point. It did at one time. It did. I mean, it won national elections. It had people representing its interests at the grassroots level. I mean, we can't take what the party is doing to itself now and project it back 160 years and say it's always been that way, because we know that's not true.
But do you see any reasonable chance at this moment that your party is going to come back to any sense of sanity?
No, there isn't. Yeah. No, there isn't. Which gets to the second point, which is the political point. I stay in because it pisses them off. because the easiest thing to do is leave, right? They want that. They want me and Liz Cheney and others to be excised from the party. The longer you stay, the more you hold up the mirror to show them that Dorian Gray image of what they've become. I think it's valuable. So when that point does come and it breaks, then you can walk out. I can walk out with clean hands and say, all right, MFer, I tried. Yeah. I did everything I could. All right. So you bitches are on your own. Okay. That's how this works.
This is why I fall in love with you every time, even though you tell me you're the scorpion that's going to sting me when we get to the other side of the Trump River. I saved a tweet for you, though, because I got to say, how does this reconcile with any kind of small government party that Joe tweets? Republicans want to control what clothes you wear, what books you read, what history you can learn, what medication you can take, what words you can say, what gender you are, who you can love or marry, what you can or cannot do with your own body. I mean, what?
So we have become, Stephanie, the thing that we always railed against. We have become the very thing. I mean, it is the quintessential moment of projection where all those things that we said about others doing to us, right? making these claims that, they want to take away our freedoms. They want to take away our liberties. They want to take away our rights. Well, you just went through the checklist of things that the party has done in the last 7 years and continues to do. And so there is no expectation by me or any others, I would say, that they're just going to wake up tomorrow, have a V8, and decide, oh, shit, we were wrong.
Oh, can't say that. Wow, you filthy. You're working blue, Michael Steele.
Right.
You can't say that on my little family radio show. Go ahead.
I'm sorry. I take that out.
Okay.
Did I say a
too
nasty
late.
word?
Yeah. Okay.
We'll fix it in post.
But you can't sit there and think that somehow it's all going to correct itself in a matter of days, weeks, or even years. This infection is now in the bone marrow of the party, and you won't be able to get it out, and so it has to go through the natural processes of dying, I think. And the question becomes, because we believe that we need a viable political system. Mm-hmm. I'm not sitting there going, all D's all the time. Hell no, right? That's not the plan. So you want to create a space or lane in which something else grows ideologically, politically, philosophically, that challenges the system, that represents the array of points of view out there along the political spectrum. And you have an opportunity, whether that's in the form of a New Jack Republican Party, or if it's an earlier vintage that's reemerges, whatever it happens to be, something else is going to come from this stuff.
Michael, I'm trying to imagine what my dad would have thought of serving in Congress with Marjorie Taylor Greene and Lauren Boebert. And, as you tweeted, Lauren Boebert, Marjorie Taylor Greene, J6 insurrectionists sitting in a D.C. jail are where they belong. They're not patriots. They're not political prisoners. More performative BS sanctioned by Speaker McCarthy. That's what's become of your party. I mean, the fact that they're still wearing, AR-15 lapel pins around, even after Nashville. I have to ask you, you tweeted, every president since Clinton, every last one has had to stand before the country after the killing of innocents to speak to a tragedy we won't do anything about. Today, thoughts and prayers. Again, tomorrow, nothing changes as usual. But you got Republicans now, Michael, saying, we're not going to fix this. Oh, we've done all we can do. That's it. Guns are the number one killer of children, and that's it. We're not going to fix it.
And let's expand that thought, Stephanie, because they have done all that they are going to do to fix the problem, which is nothing. All right, do nothing. But then on the flip side of that, they are expanding the space into which more children will be killed. Because now in some states, they've allowed, I think it's maybe Idaho or Montana, one of the states have now said that children of any age can carry a firearm without any repercussions, except for when the kid goes to school and gets pissed off at a classmate and decides to shoot him and 3 or 4 other people. So this is they're creating an environment. I look at it this way. You have a situation where it's so out of control that they give in to the thing that they've created. In other words, we can't fix it. We don't know. This was a thought experiment that's suddenly now gone bad, right? Mm-hmm. And they don't know how to get out of it. They don't know how to extricate themselves from it because they don't want to be embarrassed by.
And this is where Michael Steele,
by saying, "Oh yeah, we were wrong."
Michael Steele, this is where I would pull you gently into the light. And if I lived in D.C., I would work my charms on you every single day until you came fully to the light, to the Democratic Party. Because both sides do not do it. It is because of the Republican Party we don't have sensible gun legislation. And as you know, the polling, that's what you did for the longest time. The polling is all on our side on these issues. And it's the Republican Party that have gotten so extreme. Why, Michael, for instance, do we have to say it's impossible to get an assault weapons ban?
But you've got, for every Republican you want to scream at, you've got a Joe Manchin who's on the Democratic side, who's not
one of them.
Kirsten Sinema.
Oh, please. She's not a Democrat anymore.
Well, but I'm just saying, back in the day when
Right.
the Democrats had control of the White House, the Congress, and the Senate, give me the legislation they promoted to the country, even if they knew it was going to lose, to reform the system. I don't recall the Clinton bill. I don't recall the Obama bill, and I don't recall the Biden bill.
It's under George W. Bush that the assault weapons ban expired, and we have the
exactly.
statistics on that, on how, what is it, 250%? Mass shootings have gone up since we let that expire. We have the stats from UK and Scotland.
I got
know
that, but
right.
you've also had Democrats in charge of the Congress, the House, the Senate, and the White House. And nothing's gotten done either. My point is, and it's easy for both of us to sit here and blame the Republicans, and there's a lot to put at their doorstep, right? But
all of it, almost all of it.
They just got the majority back, and it's only a 4-seat majority in the House.
Yeah.
Right? Nancy Pelosi had the majority, a 4-seat majority, and worked miracles, but I didn't see the gun legislation proposal. And, so as a number of congressmen have said on MSNBC, on my air, both Democrats and Republicans, if anybody's serious about it, then petition the bill to the floor. It's very easy to do.
Yeah.
You got the bill, you can put it on the floor. There's nothing to stop you from the process. Everyone acts like they're so handcuffed by the system, but they're the one who writes the rules for the system.
Yeah.
So here's the deal. I'll take all the heat for Republicans on this issue because we've been complete, jerks about this and seemingly don't care about kids being killed. Having said that, I'll also say, as citizens, we have a responsibility to unelect these people.
Yeah.
And to if this is an issue that is more important to us than any other issue.
And I think the more Maxwell Frosts we get in, and Jamal Bowman's and people that a lot of these people were in the lockdown generation. Yeah,
90-some% of the Congress got reelected last year. So I mean, you have a chance to sort of turn these people out. Look, Stephanie, the country gave power back to the Republicans who fomented insurrection. So what does that tell you? Is that a Republican problem or is that an American people problem?
Yeah. Well, it's your party. It's all your fault. Michael.
Well, wait a minute. It's my party. It's all my fault. But you voted for it.
Well, I mean, I think, honestly, you're also part of the media now. And I think this also, don't you think the media has helped normalize Trump and this Republican Party to some degree when you and I are sitting here going, They tried to overthrow the government of the United States. My father was a prosecutor at Nuremberg. What really? We haven't decided yet the Nazis are bad? We have a ex-president who called them very fine people? I mean, I think what's happening is sort of beyond just Trump, don't you think? There is something that is...
Yes, and that's my point. That's exactly the point I was making just now, that this is not... Trump has been sort of like the grease that's put on the road that just causes everything to slip and slide in different directions. And he's given permission to people to behave certain ways.
Yep.
He's given license to people to do certain things. And for the first time, everyone wraps themselves around the excuse, oh, I'm such a victim. Oh, they always talk bad about us. These liberals do this and these progressives do that. They hate us and blah, 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 blah. Well, it sounds to me you need to lie on a couch somewhere and work it out because, you can't be that much of a snowflake because, quite honestly, it ain't running like that.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just not. You're the ones with the guns.
Yeah.
You're the ones sanctioning the killings. You're the ones who make excuses for the bad behavior and the racism and the white nationalism, right? Yeah. So at what point were you upended by wokeism? Oh, you mean to tell me you have to recognize that this young person over here is going through their own sexual discovery and have decided that this is where they are and you don't like that? That now threatens you?
Yeah.
To the point where you need to feel you need to inject yourselves into their life situation. Yeah. So you're going to prevent the woman from getting the health care she needs when she's dealing with a difficult pregnancy. You're going to step in in the face of a soldier who's is in serving our country, but is also going through a transition of their own, and you don't want that to happen. I mean,
listen, every time I think I'm a liberal and a lesbian, I come into contact with you, and then everything just...
I'm a liberal lesbian.
I just start questioning everything. Your tweet made me happy about Trump saying he's not a crier, and you said the truth is he probably sits on that golden toilet and cries like a baby. It's time for what radio and TV were made for, mindless speculation about whether Trump will ever see justice. You said, okay, people, have we learned yet, especially the press? As I noted when this story first dropped, Donald Trump said he was being arrested, not New York DA Alvin Bragg. And now here we are after 2 weeks of Trump BS. Hey, but he raised $1.5 million. I mean, I don't know what you think of this latest thing, whether Weisselberg has flipped, what this delay is, whether he's already been indicted. What's your mindless speculation?
I just, everybody wants to rush to a particular conclusion. The Trumpists want to rush to a conclusion where Trump is exonerated or not even dealt with. Just don't deal with the man. Let him do whatever he wants to do. Everybody else wants to rush to a judgment where the man is, doing a perp walk and paraded in front of the country. Let the process play itself out the way our system is designed to play itself out. We may or may not like the outcome, but that's going to be based on two things, the law and the facts. And to the extent that we only have a portion of those facts, which we do, we don't have everything. You just raised the question, what's Weisselberg? What's the deal with him now? We don't know what deals have been cut. This fool thought that, I can go to jail for Trump at 80 years old and I'd be okay. And he's sitting there going, what the hell am I doing in jail?
Sitting in Rikers going, wow.
Right.
Maybe.
So let the prosecutors do their thing.
Yep.
Here's the rub for that tweet. I'm sick and tired, especially the press, pushing and driving these narratives because it's clickbait for them. Yeah. Because it's advertising dollars for them. And they know daggone well that Donald Trump was not being arrested on Tuesday. How do they know that? Because they had no evidence, signal, or
Except
word
from
the DA's
Michael,
office saying this was coming.
We're super long, but on behalf of my entire family, I love you, Michael Steele. We love you so much, our whole family.
You give me a soapbox, baby. I'm going to hang on.
That's right.
I love when you get to host because I get to come on and guest. Love you, Michael Steele. See you soon.
Love you.
All right.
Take care.
52 minutes after the hour. This portion of the show, that's the barometer we live by now, right? It's like,